Welcome to the Modernize or Die Podcast, CFML News Edition, where we keep you up to date with everything going on in the Cold Fusion community. We'll share the latest news on events, releases to engines, frameworks, libraries, and tools, as well as spotlighting quality content from the community. Welcome to the Modernize or Die Podcast. It is episode 198, and we're up to June 13th. Oh my gosh, we're flying through this year. I can't believe how fast things are going. As usual, I'm Gavin Pickin, and Grant OpenAI Copley is here joining me today.
Hey everybody.
Thanks for joining me, everybody. We're having a flying fast year this year. CF Camp is next week. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know. I can't. Can't believe any of it. So yep. I don't even know how we're in June now.
Yeah, came pretty fast. Kids are at summer camp. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Conferences are kicking in. We got lots of things happening. So we got quite a bit of news for you guys today. So let's jump straight into it. Thanks to our sponsor, Auto Solutions. Again, the makers of ColdBox, CommandBox, ForgeBox, TestBox, and almost everything else out there. A few ways you can say back to Auto Solutions.
You can like and subscribe to our Ortus videos on YouTube. There's a bunch of them. They're starting to pile up. So please like those. You can also help us reach for the stars. So we've got, all of our repos up on GitHub. There's a little star button there. If you can go and like our repos, that helps us out a bunch. And you can subscribe to our podcast on whatever your favorite podcast app is. Leave a review. And you also can sign up for a free or paid account on CFcast. We are releasing content every week. There's great stuff on there. So help us out there if you can.
Yeah, we'll tell you a little bit more about CFcast coming up here soon. But we also have the Box Life store. So if you want to grab some cool custom designed swag, you can get that at the Ortus Box Life store. And there's Charlie in the chat, and so Sean. Morning, Charlie. And Charlie says time flies when you're getting old. I'm like, yeah, I got a little older yesterday, so I know how that feels personally. But happy birthday for you last week, Charlie. But yeah, you can also buy some Ortus books. So we've got quite a few books around. So we got the 102 ColdBox HMVC quick tips and tricks that are out there. We've got the Learn Modern CFML in 100 plus minutes because we've updated that, so there's more information. There is a free version online for that, but you can also pay for the ebook or paper copy if you want. So we'll try and get that done there. Let me just get these links up here for you. And then, of course, we have our Patreon supporters as well. So without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. They're basically personally funding this podcast, and so we want to thank each and every one of them. We have 40 Patreons right now, and we really do appreciate each and every one of them, and we'll tell you a little bit more about them at the end of the show, and you guys can go check this out on the patreon.com/autosolutions if you want to find out more about the different packages and levels we have there. Okay, let's get into some news and announcements. So first up, we have the Ortus training coming up at CF Summit. We have CF Camp ones too, but CF Summit as well. We got that on the way. We think we've finalized everything, so they're getting all the registration forms up. So look out for a blog post, tweets, Facebook post very soon. So that is going to be October 4th and 5th, right after CF Summit. Myself and Luis are going to be making you heroes with ColdBox. We're going to be using ColdBox 7, so you can see all the cool new stuff in ColdBox 7. Go from zero to hero in a 2-day workshop, and we'll have pricing and registration links out very soon. But there is pre-conference camps for next week. I can't believe it's next week. CF Camp next week. Tell us about that, Grant.
There is. So there's a workshop discount. We've got a 30% discount on that workshop if you use the code ORTUSPRE30. So that's ORTUSPRE30. And you can get a discount on that workshop. I think Gavin might be posting the link now.
Yep.
There we go.
So yeah,
check that out.
Podcast special, ORTUSPRE30, save 30%, and get a day with Brad or Luis or Eric or Dan as they do some pretty cool workshops, which we'll tell you about very soon. So we did have some new releases and updates. So this last week we had ColdBox 6.9.0 release. So you might say, I thought ColdBox 7 was out. Well, remember ColdBox 6.9 is part of the LTS, so the long-term support, and so we're still making security updates to that. So 6.9.0 is packed with new features, improvements, and bug fixes. The version focused on enhancing the debugging capabilities, improving the schedule, task modules, and fixing an important issue related to the REST handler. So you guys can see more and more about those details in that link that Grant just posted there. And then Lucy 6 beta number 2 is out. So following the last few weeks of development and the final development, testing, and bug fixing, the Lucy team has released Lucy 6 beta 2. Now that's pretty exciting. They've got a lot going on. And next week at CF Camp, they got something really special for us, right?
So if you haven't heard yet, they are officially launching Lucy 6.0 at CF Camp. So this is a long-awaited and exciting thing. So get ready. They're going to be, it's right, what, June 22nd, 23rd?
Yeah, I just Zach's in the chat. He just said maybe. I'm like, maybe?
Oh,
well, you
maybe.
tweeted that you're doing it, so I'm like, maybe he's just teasing us. But yeah. So yeah, June 22nd, 23rd in Munich with the pre-conference the day before. But yeah, pretty funny guy. But they've been working on it a long time. They've done a lot of great work on it, and yeah, it's really exciting. And you can test your stuff before they release it using the beta. Command Box has the extension up there. It's the engine, and you can do some GitHub awesomeness like we do with GitHub Actions and put it in your matrix. So when you run your tests in your CI, you could run them on all of them. And so we have that running on all of our stuff as experimental. Yeah. Okay, so Zach is saying we need people to test their apps with 5.4 release candidate 2 and the 6 beta 2, please. Well, the snapshot after, because they need to test it before they release it. They don't want any major regressions, which obviously is a really good thing there. So yeah, test your stuff. And again, if you're using GitHub, like GitHub Actions, the ColdBox test suite, if you look in the GitHub repo, you'll be able to see the GitHub Actions, and you can see the matrices. So we have like a matrix of stuff we tested against. So we tested against, different versions of Adobe, different versions of Lucy, and you can use this Lucy 6 beta as part of that. So if you do that, then all your tests can run against all the different versions. So just go grab that GitHub action and you can use it. So
Always thought that was super cool.
yeah.
Here's all the different engines, just test against all of them. Let me know what breaks.
Yep, and the cool thing is like when we did the ColdBox 6.9.0 release, we could say the Lucy 6 beta 1 or beta 2, it's experimental, so it won't break the build. So it'll still build, but it'll let you know that, hey, it didn't pass in this version, which is experimental. So that way you can still fix it, but it's not going to stop you from releasing anything in the meantime. So kind of a cool way to do it. So
yeah, sure.
Yep, and then of course he did mention that the Lucy 5.4.077 release candidate 2 is out too, so check that out as well. And it does have a lot of bigger changes, so some breaking changes in there. So if you get that working on your code, you'll be even closer to getting 6 working on your code. So it's a good way to get things updated while you wait for the new one to come out. So lots of cool stuff coming there from Lucy. So we're excited. CF Camp, we're gonna have probably a lot more news coming out very soon. So when
Maybe.
well, I say when all those guys get back from CF Camp, they can do the next podcast. They can tell us about all the cool stuff that happened at the CF Camp. So okay, let's talk about some meetups, webinars, and workshops. So in case you missed it, online CF meetup last week, Charlie had the many ways to run CF and Lucy with Charlie. But so he ran that last week, and we have the link to the recording. So we'll be sharing that here for you guys, so you can see that if you missed it. So that's a cool session, and they've got another one this week. It's great to see them back up and running again. So I'll let you try and pronounce this guy's name because I can't.
Oh, I don't know if I can either. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher. Is it cool? Maybe. Anyways, posted the load testing tool for modern web apps,
Yep.
and that is going to be what's on the 15th. So this Thursday at 12 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and we'll be posting the link for that.
Yep, I can try to share my screen so that way they can read it if you guys are watching, because we're mispronouncing it badly, and that's okay.
We are.
So if you,
So apologies.
yep. So Gulami Beyteladuf, I don't know, but anyway. So again, it'll be up there. Talking about load testing. So Octoperf. So interesting. I've never heard of that before. I'm kind of curious what it's working on. But he's a co-founder of Octoperf, and so we'll find out more about it. Oh, so Guillaume. Okay.
You
Yep, that's what Charlie's
wasn't
saying.
even wasn't even remotely close
Yeah,
to how I pronounce it. So again, apologies.
I'm sure he gets that a lot from us Americans. So, well, I'm not. Just call me an American. That's funny. Anyways, let's keep going. So we also have another webinar on Friday. So this is the Audis June webinar. So taming time series data with Stashbox and the Elk Stack. So John Clausen's going to be leading this one. He's tired of coming through log files across different servers and/or containers to analyze problems and patterns. In this 1 hour webinar, we'll show how to leverage Logstash and Elk, which is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana, to consolidate, analyze, and visualize your time series data. So this is great because, yeah, even when you start clustering servers, whether it's Docker or old school, traditional, you start getting logs everywhere. So this type of thing allows you to bring them all together, and it really allows you to diagnose across those different things. So the more and more complicated our deployment stacks are compared to the old one server, one box, one problem, um, yeah, this will be really helpful. And John and the team have done an awesome job with Stashbox. It's really slick. So if you guys want to
Got
check
it.
that out,
The interface is really good too. I've been impressed with the interface he put together for that.
yep. And that's June 16th, 2023. So that's Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Go register. Let me throw the link up here real quick. You guys can go register for the Zoom webinar. Okay, so we have some events coming up from Adobe as well. You want to give us the first couple?
We do. So there's an Adobe Cold Fusion workshop that's coming up Wednesday. It's June 21st, 9 a.m. Is that Central Time?
Central European time. That's
Central Europe. Oh,
I think so.
figured I did that wrong. So yeah, that's coming up, and then there's also a webinar in Docker and using the Google Cloud Platform, and that's happening June 23rd, this
Yep.
Friday, not this Friday, next Friday, at 10 a.m.
Yep, Mark
Just
Takata's going to be doing that
right now.
one. He's got the Google Developer Evangelist on there, the Google Cloud Platform Developer Evangelist. So he's excited about that one. And yeah, I'm curious to see what they got going on there. So I know Adobe's really focusing on cloud stuff, especially with each and every version. So it'll be good to see that. And we got more workshops. So we got one on June 28th, and that's 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the 28th. Then we've also got another one in July. So a really Road to Fortuna series, so talk about new administrative features in Adobe Cold Fusion 2023. And then in August, there's another workshop and another Road to Fortuna series, which is exploring new Google Cloud Platform features. So a couple coming up in the next couple months. We'll remind you as they get closer. Okay, CFcast.com. Got a couple of releases lately. We're working on some new series, but what have we had lately?
So we've got the 2023 ForgeBox Module of the Week series. That's been kind of an ongoing thing. So we've got a new video up for that. We've got a VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week series. We've got one new video there as well.
Yep. And if you go, so you can see the most recent ones, see when they were released. But if you go back to series, you can see some more here. So again, we got 27 videos from the Mastering Command Box 5 series. So 4.5 hours of videos there. Already this year in the webinar 2023 Audis webinars, we've got a couple of videos, a couple of hours. And again, if you want to see all the ForgeBox modules a week without going back through the podcast, all the VS Code tips, they're there for the year. And you can see some of the other ones are there from Software Craftsmanship Book Club and the ITB 2022 and 2019 videos and Logbox series. There's a bunch of stuff there. So tons and tons of great content to keep you busy. But we do have more coming soon. We're working on getting those 2023 ITB videos out. There'll be an exclusive premium package so you can purchase it. If you did not go to the conference in person, you can purchase that to watch online. And we'll be giving normal subscribers access to that after about that 6-month exclusive window. But we'll have some more ForgeBox VS Code tips coming to you. And then Eric is working on a couple series Coldbox Elixir, and then getting started with Inertia JS. So more good stuff coming very soon. I know he's working hard on his Inertia JS presentation for CF Camp, so I think that's all the content that I'll be using in that series. So that'll be good to see. Okay, next up, conferences and training, and we got lots coming up here. You want to break down the CF Camp pre-conference for us?
Yep. So Ortis has 4 trainings at CF Camp, and it's on June 21st. It's held at the CF Camp venue, and it looks like so Eric is going to be covering test box, getting started with behavior-driven development, test-driven development. Luis is going to be covering Coldbox 7 from zero to hero and all of the cool stuff that he's packed into Coldbox 7. We've got Dan covering legacy cold conversion to the modern world. So if you're dealing with legacy apps like most of us are, that'll be a great one to attend. And then Brad is covering command box server deployment for the modern age. I think if I remember right, I think he mentioned that he was going to be covering some things that might be in Command Box Pro.
Yep, I think
I heard him say that.
I think you're right. He's going to be talking about a lot of those new features as they roll them out. So that'll be very cool to see. Of course, not everything is in the pro version. A lot of it will trickle back to the free version too. So, and there's a couple of videos that you guys can go watch too, if up on our YouTube channel if you want to see a little intro from Brad or Luis about the conference. So, recommend checking that out as well. And we just posted the pre-conference code again for you guys, so you guys can check that out. And again, save 30%. Okay, well, so after the pre-conference, you'll hang around for the conference. So that's June 22nd, 23rd, and the Marriott Hotel, Munich Airport in Freising. Got a lot of great sessions, a lot of great speakers, so go check those out. And of course, you can register at cfcamp.org for that and get all the other information there as well. So that's happening in June. Later in July, we have another conference, and Daniel Garcia is going to be speaking there.
Nice. Do you know what session he's doing?
Yeah, he's doing a Mr. Postman, do you have an API for me? So I'll actually bring up that way. You want to tell him some of the details, and I'll share my screen.
So yeah, that conference, the full stack conference, looks like it's going to be in Wisconsin. It's July 24th through the 27th.
Yep.
And it's a 4-day long summer camp for any developers passionate about learning all things mobile, web, cloud, and technology.
Yep, and so Daniel's speaking on, please, Mr. Postman, do you have an API for me? Talking about Postman and some of the features and everything. And the takeaways will be you'll learn about Postman, how you can use it to make your development and testing lives easier. And you'll learn enough about Postman to start using it right away. And there are some cool sessions. I like this feature too. It shows you who's favorited the session that they want to come check it out and whatever. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's also a family event. So if you go look at activities, again, there's a lot of cool stuff, the early workshop. But they have this cool event. Let's see. Oh, that's the full one. I was going to show you that they have a bacon buffet. So had a bacon buffet. They got a pig on a spit, and then bacon. Yeah. But they do other stuff too, like they do online things almost every month. They do hybrid, multi-day hybrid conferences too. So yeah, so online there's different things going on, but it's just kind of cool. They've got some different events, and they've got more coming up. So anyway, they're already planning for the Round Rock, Texas conference in January. So
wow,
that's cool. And keynotes, workshops, sessions, open spaces, a pig roast, and even a water park party. Hurry up, camp starts soon. So, Luis, when you hear this, we want to plan the retreat right after this so we can go there for the conference, enjoy a pig roast, water park party, and then we can go do our Ortis retreat where we plan all the cool stuff we're going to work on for Ortis during the year.
I support this 100%.
Yep. For sure. Plus in Texas, February is pretty swimmable weather considering how warm it gets there. So anyway, sorry I distracted everybody with the pig roast, but bacon. Enough said. So we also have CF Summit coming up, right?
We do. Adobe CF Summit West. It's in Vegas. It's October 2nd through the 4th. And I think they still have early bird passes now. There's a session pass for $99. believe the professional passes are 199, and from what I'm seeing, the call for speakers is still open in case anybody is wanting to present.
Yep, and so I just got an email today saying, don't miss this opportunity to learn, network, and be inspired at everyone's Coder's Paradise, Adobe Fusion Summit 2023. Rise to the occasion and rise to your potential. Only 2 days left to get your session pass at $99 or pay $199 after June 15th. So June 15th, final deadline for those early bird passes. So save $100 if you register. And if you are thinking about speaking and they don't pick you, then you've obviously got a ticket if you buy now. And if they do pick you, they'll refund you the money. So don't worry about that. So grab a ticket. It's well worth it. $99 for breakfast, lunch for 2 days, and you get some swag and everything else, and you get to hang out with us at the Otis booth. It's a steal. So come join us, and we'll see you in Vegas. And then remember, the 4th and 5th, if you're not doing the Adobe certification, we have that Cold Box Zero to Hero. So October 4th and 5th, it's going to be at a venue right down the street from the Mirage, so it'll be easy to get to after the conference. And we're going to be really close to a Brazilian steakhouse. We're close to Top Golf. We'll have a lot of fun learning, coding, and hanging out, and just spending time with the people there. So that information will be coming soon. And then if they're,
Yes,
if they're
and oh, sorry, Gavin.
I was going to say, if they still need more conferences, what can we tell them?
There's more conferences, if you can believe it. There's tons of conferences, and so there's so many we can't even list them all. Gavin's going to post a link, but there is a site where you can go to find all these conferences. It's onfs.tech, so comps.tech.
Yep. I love this one here. And the best thing about it is, like, I can find stuff that's close to me. I can find them online or in person, and then I can see how much cheaper all the Cold Fusion conferences are than all the other ones. So, like, if I come up here and look in JavaScript and I look in California, oh, so CA maybe. So that's not the right one. Maybe if I do San Diego, I did look before. Well, maybe not JavaScript ones. There's a bunch of security ones and everything else in different places. So, yep. So
It is nice
visual,
to have them all consolidated.
yep. But I did went and look, and it's like, if you're paying less than $1,000 a day for a conference, and especially in California, that's a pretty good deal. So, anyway, just wanted to let you know that Vegas is a steal. Cheap flights into Vegas. And there's always lots of fun things to do. Go see a show. I think we're going to go see Penn and Teller this year if we can. That'd be cool.
Nice.
So, anyways. Okay, blogs, tweets, and videos of the week. First up, we'll start off with an Into the Box recap. So we have a blog post that we sort of recap the first day of Into the Box. We'll have another one coming for day 2. If you weren't there, you can sort of find out a little bit more about what happened. A great conference again. We're excited to have another one coming next year, and we might even have a different venue. So keep an ear out for that. But Michael Bourne also blogged about a new ORM Otis extension. You want to tell us a bit about that
so
one?
I know he's been working away at that for some time now. So this is actually a open source fork of the Lucy Hibernate extension.
And they almost
And,
completely rewrote it, right? He did so much work on this.
I actually don't. I'm not sure. Did he? But if he did, I mean, I know he's put in a lot of time and effort into it, and I think managed to, introduce some big speed improvements, and just kind of make the just the Hibernate part of Lucy just run a bit better there.
Yes,
And
60% cut on the ORM reload time. That's pretty
yeah,
impressive.
I don't know how he did it, but thank you, Michael.
Yep. Also changes things to auto gen map equals false support. That way you can enable and disable those HBM, XML files, etc. And that helps improves the ORM load and reload speed. So that might have been where they got some of it. But yeah, updated a bunch of libraries and just a bunch of work. And so there's more information about the the ORM extension. It's open source. It's going to stay open source. But we can support it too. So
And it looks like it's to install it. You can do it with command box. From what I'm seeing there.
yeah, you can do all that
Looks
with
like
all
it's
the
pretty
Lucy
straightforward.
extensions actually. But you just got to find their GUID, their crazy
Good.
code. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have that ability from command box. Pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of work gone into that. And obviously Otis and our clients are huge ORM users, whether it's Quick or Hibernate, and so it made sense for us to take that over since we're the biggest users of it, I'd say. Anyway, so that way we can take it over so Lucy doesn't have to do that and they can focus on other things. So, very cool. And Brad had a little tweet for you, so I'll share that here, talking about the CF Camp experiences and why you should go see him next week. So if you see this tweet here up on the Twitterverse, you can go watch his little YouTube video, and he hopes he can see you guys there as well. And then we had a blog from Luis, right?
Luis, yeah. So he blogged about ColdBox 6.9.0. So this is the long-term support release. He's got new features, bug fixes, lots of cool stuff in here, including some debugging capabilities that he's packed in there.
Yeah.
So we've got a log on that.
Yep. So some nice added features, some improvements, some fixes. Usually with long-term support, you don't get a lot of improvements and and everything. It's just sort of security stuff. But obviously we're trying to get everyone ready for ColdBox 7, and there's a lot of cool features that we added to 7 we could backport. So yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff in here. And here's the little charts. You can see how long each one will be supported for. So 6.x, you see it was released in 2022. We're going to keep updating it through 2023, and then security fixes till 2025. So I guess that's why I guess it's to the end of the 12 months. I'm not sure. But anyway, lots of cool stuff going on with the LTS stuff. It's pretty common for the big companies to offer that now. I know a lot of people like the extra support, and extra features provided by a company-backed open source project. So, and then speaking of Luis,
yep, he also tweeted out about is this Open South Code in Spain? Now I don't know what that is.
So yeah, it's Open South Code is this special conference they have there, and I'll just share the pictures as well. So you see, he's got a bunch of people. He's talking about CFML there, and it's just kind of cool to have new faces, new people, new opportunities to share Cold Fusion. So he's out there evangelizing, and yeah, the Open South Code is it's a pretty cool place. There's actually a blog post, I think, following right up over that. So that one there, I'll grab that link for you guys too. But basically, he went and presented about empowering open source innovation, a recap of the enterprise messaging presentation Open South Code. So Open South Code is a premier gathering of industry professionals, developers, and open source advocates, all dedicated to fostering collaboration and innovation in the realm of open source software. The conference, held in Malaga, Spain, provides experts and enthusiasts the opportunity to exchange ideas, share knowledge, and explore emerging trends in the open source landscape. And so basically he's been there a few times, and then with COVID they haven't been there that much, but he went and spread some RabbitMQ joy. So queues are pretty popular these days, and that was a good talk. And it's just good to see a big turnout too, So good to have him back after COVID. Okay, your turn.
Looks like 2 days ago, Ben Nadell posted a blog post about creating a database-driven scheduled task runner in Cold Fusion. So it looks like he was covering things, clean up tasks that he needs to run, and he's created a scheduled task part of the application bootstrapping.
Yep. So he's using the CF schedule tag or whatnot, and then storing things in the data source. So basically, puts tasks in the database, pulls them out, and then acts as a centralized ingress to work on all those. So he's got his code up here, and this is all part of his Dig Deep fitness app that he's working on. So he's been talking about that on the Working Code podcast. Go check that out if you want to find out some more background and see some water cooler discussion by some Cold Fusion individuals: Adam Tuttle, Carol Hamilton, and I forget her new name, Tim Cunningham, and then obviously Ben Nadell get to talk about all sorts of coding stuff each week. But yeah, so he's got a pretty cool little setup here. I'm always curious, how how people go about these different things. And he's using the dependency injection framework he built as well. So, Ben likes to build it from the ground up so he understands it. And a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah, I actually remember. I mean, I don't know when he posted about it, but I remember reading um, about him doing scheduled tasks this way, and I thought it was super interesting. Um, Actually creating, a database table of scheduled tasks that run, and I always thought it was interesting just because some of the projects I use, like um, I'll either use like the scheduled task runners that are built into either Lucy or Adobe CF, but I also do like cron jobs and those sorts of things. I just thought it was really cool to have it in a database table. It's just so much easier to manage. But I've never tried it,
Yeah.
but definitely.
I've used cron jobs before, but I don't like the fact that they're removed from it. And, I know a lot of the services like Vercel and everything now have cron jobs for your, all the JavaScript apps that they deploy. But I like things like GitLabs. GitLabs, you can actually have pipelines that run on a schedule, so you can actually run them. And GitLabs has a lot of detail in their output, which is nice too. But with CBQs and the Callbox scheduler, you can do a lot of that stuff now as well. But yeah, I like the fact that I can actually have scheduled tasks that I have in my database that basically populate Callbox app when it starts up, and then they can generate queues of tasks. I've got reports and stuff that people want emailed every week, so I can actually create a database scheduled task that generates it. When it generates the emails, it sends off these queues to generate the reports, put them all together, then email them off to the right people, so they can actually have a queue of tasks. And all these tools that were built into Callbox are getting more and more useful for this type of stuff, and it's great. So I love this. But yeah, database driven stuff, keeping it all inside the app and not on some weird VPS you just spun up and you forgot you had a cron job there, and you go to migrate it one day and you're wondering why nothing works because there's a cron job somewhere. And then Charlie says that CF10 and above offered clustered scheduled tasks, which stores tasks in a database that you pick. Oh, that's cool. While there to help more than one instance share them, there's even value for one. Yeah, for sure. And so I know that I don't know how Lucy's stuff is working, but I know Adobe did a lot of work on their clustered setup, so they've got a lot of cool features with Enterprise when you cluster them. So, but yeah, I haven't done it personally myself, but it's nice to have it somewhere where you can access it if you need to, and just having the CF scheduled task is pretty neat. So, very cool. So now you know too. Next up, we have Cold Fusion Find a Job. So if you go look at getcfmljobs.com, which I will do, you will see that we have one new job listed for this week. And this week it's from a company called Centurion Consulting Group. So a senior developer with Cold Fusion Remote at United States. And it was posted yesterday. And so we have the link coming at you right now. And remember, getcfmljobs.com, you can also post jobs too. And our friends over at Kansas University, the KGS team, posted one there last week, and they've got some information as well. So they're still looking for someone. And sorry, I just ran right over Grant's section there, but that's okay.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Yeah, we try and like block highlight stuff so one person doesn't talk forever, but that doesn't work. I just keep talking. So, but I'll share my screen here to show you. So, Kansas University, again, we got a team that we work with over there, and they've got a position available. So, the deadline review begins June 12th. So, basically, they'll continue till a qualified pool of candidates is received. So, they're looking for somebody. Starting pretty soon. So on-site is preferred, hybrid's available, but yeah, must be authorized to work in the U.S. And they got a pretty interesting group of tools. They're working on some newer projects and migrating some older projects, and they got a nice breakdown of your work responsibilities too. So if you guys are interested, check that one out. And there's always more jobs on the Slack channels. Okay. So
Well, I'll just take the next one. I'll steal the next
go for
one.
it.
All right, so we're going to talk about the ForgeBox module of the week. It is CB Playwright. So this is a module that Eric Peterson has worked on, and I actually got to see this at the end of the box. I hadn't had a chance until then, but it's being able to run tests in actual browsers using test box and using also Playwright, hence the name. And so some of the features you get, like you can actually launch any sort of browser. It works on any platform. Um, you can test your app at a much higher level. And so you can write these tests, um, launch a browser, assert things are happening, assert. The other thing I thought was super cool was just that you can check for JavaScript changes, wait for changes, all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, and the cool thing is like I know you said any browser, any platform, one API, but I mean you can basically render those tools up even if you're not on a machine. Like you can have a Linux machine spinning up Mac OS like browsers. It spins them up, it records them as well. There's so many cool things in there. Like there's actually like a walkthrough replay that you can do with Playwright, and I know Eric's bringing all these features in as he can, but it's just there's some super cool things and Microsoft is backing it. And actually, the cool thing is that Cypress is using Playwright to do some stuff now. So Cypress has always been the big player in end-to-end development, but now Cypress uses Playwright for some things because Playwright just does it better. So a lot of cool things, cool things being put into this. I heard a podcast a while ago about it, and it sounds amazing. And so Eric already has it built in. We can do so much of it already, and there's more and more coming. So there's a VS Code extension that actually allows you to write your tests in VS Code using Playwright. Super cool. But we can do that right inside of CFML now. It's super cool. So
Yeah, and I think he had it already, ready to go where it pulls down all the Java jars that are needed, and um,
yep,
he had it set up in like no time.
yeah,
It was super cool presentation.
yeah. It's very very cool, and it's cool that you say, okay, hit this page, click on this text field, type this in here, click the form button, check the title on the next page has this, check to make sure the error messages shows up here. Like you can check those types of things. You can do, snapshot photos you can compare to make sure someone didn't break the style sheets, or you can do videos of the issue, and it's cool when you run your tests and if something fails, like it can basically, it can replay them and then record them. There's just so much stuff in Playwright that's just super cool. So again, we can do a lot of stuff from Testbox, and if there's something extra in Playwright, you can just tap into that as well. And again, Microsoft's doing it. They're tying it into GitHub Actions to make it super flexible there. So I'm super excited to do more and more with it because a lot of people are like, I don't know how to start testing. I don't know what to test. And usually my answer is, what's the most valuable thing for you to, for your app? Like, can people log in? Can they add products to their shopping cart? Can they check out? Can they pay their bill? What type of big happy paths do you want to test? And you can do those pretty quickly with something like Playwright. And then obviously you can do more unit testing and all those other things too, but you get the biggest bang for your buck testing those big happy paths where if it goes down, you're in trouble. And yeah, Playwright makes it very easy. So it's basically like JSoup on steroids, like some of the integrated that he built before, which was awesome. This just is a new level. So highly, highly recommend it. Very, very cool.
And we
Okay.
also have a VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week. This week it's auto hide. Looks like this actually hides the sidebar in VS Code automatically whenever you click in your text editor. Just makes it go away. Always, I'm always hitting the shortcut. I think it's like Command B or one of
Control
those.
B for me, but yeah, maybe
Oh,
on the Mac.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, so it auto hide the sidebar. You can auto hide the bottom panel too, which I think is for me it's Control J, I think, to hide the terminal and bring it back. But yeah, just a little feature, one of those things if you're especially working on laptop mode, you don't have a bigger monitor or multiple monitors. It's nice for it just to disappear when you're not using it and bring it back. So very, very cool. And so we got that link coming at you. And again, if you guys have any cool VS Code or ForgeBox modules that you think we should cover, let us know. Send us one in the chat if you guys are watching live on YouTube with us, or if you listen later on, let us know. But there's a bunch of cool commands in VS Code, a lot of extensions that make our developer life easy. So share them. That's how we get more productive. Okay. Next, we have our Patreons. So thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. You're individually or maybe your businesses personally supporting our open source initiatives. This helps ensure that we have the best tooling for CommandBox, ForgeBox, ColdBox, ContentBox, TestBox, all those other boxes. And my biggest thing is like you can see the dollars for like the value for your dollars when you look at CommandBox and ForgeBox. When you see how many millions of downloads we have and all the S3 bills that rack up, we do this for the community, and you guys are helping to support that. And so we thank you. And you guys can support us on Patreon yourself if you're not already a Patreon at patreon.com/AutoSolutions. And when you do, you get some cool perks, right, Grant?
Yeah. So just a reminder, we actually do have annual membership. So if you pay for the year, you can save 10%. And we've got different levels. So there's a bronze package and up. You now get ForgeBox Pro and CFcast subscriptions included. All Patreon supporters, they get a profile badge on the community website, and they also get their own private forum access on the community website.
Yep, a lot of cool stuff going there. And then we have the Slack channel too. We're just trying to do a little bit more. And obviously, if you guys come and say hello to us at these conferences, we really like to get to know each and every one of you, Patreons or not. But it's always cool to see our Patreons in person. Okay, well, let's thank our top Patreons. There's too many to thank each of you individually, but we'll do our top Patreons. So we want to thank John Wilson from Synaptrix. We want to thank Tomorrow's Guides, and we want to thank Jordan Clark. And we got a few more of our cool top patrons.
We've got Gary Knight, Carlo Gomez, David Bellinger, Dan Card, Jeffrey McGee with Sunstar Media, Dean Monder, Kevin Wright, Doug Kane, if I pronounced that right, Nolan Irk, and Abdul Rahim. So thank you all for being Patreon.
Yep, and hopefully we mispronounced your names perfectly. The funny thing is, out of all those names, you look at Doug Kane and you're like, did I pronounce that correctly? That's like the easiest one probably there. I don't know. Sorry, I just thought it was funny out of all the weird names we get. Yeah, but anyway. But thanks. And again, we have many more Patreons. We want to thank all of them. And they're up on the AutoSolutions.com website. If you go to About Us and go to Sponsors, you can see them, and you'll see our top patrons up there, our special patrons, and then all the other patrons, which are all very important too, and we do thank each and every one of them. But yeah, a lot of great stuff. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat, having you guys chit chat there with us. And Grant, good to have you on here helping me co-host this thing.
Yes, thank you. Happy to be here as always.
So next week is CF Camp. Don't forget to get your CF Summit tickets before they go up. And then yeah, we should have episode 199 next week while they're at CF Camp, and then when they get back, 200 might be a doozy. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So thank you everybody. Thanks. Have a great week, and yeah, we'll see you next week. And those going to CF Camp, we're jealous, but have fun. We'll catch you later.
Bye everyone.
Show notes for this episode can be found at cfmlnews.modernize.io, where you can also subscribe to your favorite podcast player like Spotify or iTunes. We also have the link to YouTube to find more videos just like this. The music used in this podcast is under a royalty-free license from Sound.com and Blue Tree Audio.